Castles and Crusades cast. Oh, it's a thing that's happening. Check out this stream on your social platforms. I might. It says I only have a fair bitrate less. X! It's my first time streaming on X. This is exciting stuff. 4160. I wonder what Elon Musk streams at. Please set bitrate value. It should be less. Oh, it's because it's got audio as well. But 0 drop frames, that's good. My goodness, it's like shaking off the cobwebs. Doing this. I don't even know where to look. I don't know what to do with my hands. But this is good stuff. Castles and Crusades, Troll Lord Games, Johnny Omaha here, everybody. It's great to see you. Oh. We're just here. So. I don't even know how this looks. If I go to x.com, I'm checking this out. Am I live right now? Let's see. Johnny Omaha. My profile. Oh my gosh, I am live. That's pretty cool. With 0 views. I dig that. It's always good. And then I think I'm also... Restream lets me do 2, because I used to pay for it a lot, and now I'm not. Let's see. Oh! Greetings from Omaha. Castles and Crusades cast is also live. Look at that. Alright, well, we're live. That's fun. So OBS is looking good. Oh, well, hello, people. It says I've got 2 viewers, which is great. I'm not going to try to call you out. I'm just making sure things are working. So, happy day. I'm at the home studio today. I don't really know. There's a chat overlay. Man, everything's changed. Restream's changed. It's all changed. So, we're just going to check it out. Castles and Crusades. Is that what it is? The whole thing is just me saying Castles and Crusades over and over and over again. We'll go to X. See if there's anything. Elon Musk is up. Let's see who we've got for Troll Lord Games. There they are. We follow each other. Troll Lord and us. So they're all kind of taking it. Oh, somebody just proud to be the backer for Someone will like that and freaking repost that. Also, fantastic repost here. The Bill Allen. Fantastic guy. Probably one of the best Let's Plays I've ever seen is right here. So, very exciting there. I don't know. Music should be good. We should have music. Should be able to hear me okay. So technically, I think things are going. I think they're going. I think technically. I don't know. If you could pick, I don't know. Is X and YouTube? I have 2 to pick from. And I feel like X and YouTube are the ones. I think Twitch, though. I mean, is Twitch the place? Is Twitch the place to be anymore? This was a great story here. Old Bear tweeting, I just got my new CNC books. Got the latest up. Maybe I can zoom. Oh, I can. Oh, there we go. That's kind of cool. I wonder if there's a way. I don't want to see this ad. Oh, here we go. There it is. And this is fabulous. Look at this. We're streamlining and we're streamlining. Ah! Because it's the stream. That's fun. Do it. That goes back. So, Old Bear, 12 hours ago, I just got my new Castles and Crusades books. I've got the latest offerings from Troll Lord Games. The box was left out in the rain, soaked. However, they packed the book so well. Thanks, Dakota. I don't know where to look. Thanks, Dakota. That even though the box was soaked, the books are 100% dry and happy to be in a new home. Well done. will order again. Sparky, that's a hefty haul, sir. And there it is. So we've got... Oh, they got the... Is that the... What is that? Is that the Castle Keeper's Guide? No, that's the the Chronicle Keeper's Guide for Amazing Adventures, which I want to get. I'm probably going to pick up my Amazing Adventures at GaryCon. So I'm excited about that. So Sparky says that's a hefty holster. Their packaging is top-notch for sure. Old Bear, I had no idea the books were out there. I poked my head outside to find out why my gutters were rumbling. Oh, look, Rain, it's my books! Oh, and Fred says, must not buy a cool system because they're there but so pretty. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let's say yes, you do. Yes. Or give in to the dark side. We have to find the right GIF. Yes, you do. There it is. Boom. Bam. Yes, you do. All right. Why two different players' handbooks? They have an Amazing Adventures set from mod. Oh, was there another? I didn't see the... Oh, it is right there. Derp. There it is. Player's Handbook. Chronicle Keeper's Guide. Man, that is a thick... That is the thickest. The Amazing Adventures is super thick. That's probably bigger. It looks bigger than the Player's Handbook. It's probably the same size as the Castle Keeper's Guide. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Will like Big Bear. Do I? Oh, I follow him. Yeah, I'm following Old Bear. He's a good guy. Or a good bear. However you want to say it. Oh, so let's see. Troll Lord Games reposting Ben. So we're just trying to figure out. Oh, which one? Which one of you did this? Okay, many of you who do this. The Japanese word tunsokdu. Tunsokdu? I don't know. Does anyone know? Means buying many books but not getting round to reading them. Which, guilty. That's never great. Like that one. Interesting. Oh, 4 methods to walk up the... Oh, this is like to walk in... Oh, a Shiko. Ninja walk. And then, yeah. You can always tell when Davis has Troll Lord Games at the helm. Because there's some interesting stuff there. Oh, I'm getting some note. Yes. Oh, there he is. Tyler's there. Hey, Tyler. He might be joining us. Let's see how we do here. He's like, are you streaming? Let's see. This was very true. I felt this one out of the core of my being. This is the Mondayest Thursday ever, which absolutely felt that way. A lot of Barsoom. I want to get excited for this. I like John Carter. I need to get my head around Barsoom. I want to love it. And Castle Zagig is happening. Oh, he's not. All right, we're getting the heads up. Tyler will be joining us. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Just kicking the tires on the stream. And I'll post it to the thing. I don't know which one. Maybe I send him the... I don't know. Send him the YouTube, maybe. We'll do that. Oh. That's fun. We'll post that. There you go. Awesome. So I'm running right now for my family the Goblins of Mount Shadow, which is an older code, but it checks out. And I don't really know what to do. I'm just kind of figuring this out. Like, we have the stream. I think it kind of looks cool. I like the castle thing on the left-hand side, and it's neat. It's a cool little setup. And yeah, so this is a pretty cool... It's like first level. The hardest thing, I was saying to this too, Brian N. Young, who I don't think I know Brian. But he's got some very Gaelic names here, which has been like, holy crap, one of the hardest things for me here. This has been a very difficult Goblins of Mount Shadow, like, Din Gwerson. Is that right? We can do that. Din Gwergan? Din Gwergan? Like, oh, I just wish there was a way. Like, how do we even say this? Is there a way we could translate Irish to English? Or Irish translator? Maybe that's enter text. Bop. In Irish. Ooh, Snowdon name. It's Welsh. It's Welsh.
Erwydva.
Erwydva. Erwydva. Didn't. Erwydva.
Snowdunham.
Snowdunham. I would rather do Snowdunham.
Erwydva.
Erdwydva. Erdwydva. Huh. Erdwydva. Man, so maybe once you understand there, all right. Well, I just need to do that for all the names ever then. The giants. So anyway, all right. So let's start over. The traveler had made his way through the war-torn eastern lands where Saxon invaders were making life difficult for native Britons. Oh, it is. Super Britons. Okay. He thought this way would be the wild northern mountains and isolated woods be far easier. I don't remember this. The Goblins of Mount Shadow was this, drawn by a random string of attack. I guess I read it, didn't I? Or I didn't. This is what I read, the introduction. And says of adventurers, characters numbering 2 to 5 from 1 to 5th level. So Milo is my 11-year-old. He's playing Milo the Mystical, and I think he's a 4th level wizard. But he gets to cast all his own spells. So he does a lot of spells from Onward. He loves that. A lot of Onward spells. And Harry Potter. And he gets to cast each spell 3 times a day. We just make it easy. Max. What is Max? Max is... What did he roll up? I should know this. He has a ranger. I don't know if he's a ranger or if... Yeah. And then my wife is a gnome. We made a cool... It's artisan. So it's like a tinkerer bard. So it's a bard who like fiddles and crafts and makes stuff. And she's level 2. So we've got like a... Yeah. Oh, I think Max rolled up a paladin. He totally did. Yeah, he totally rolled up a paladin. He's a level 1 paladin. So, story focuses on Celtic myth and folklore. Can be integrated in any fantasy setting and aired with ease. The locations in this adventure are essentially fictional but taken from actual Welsh sources. Oh, there's the Welsh. With the Welsh detected. Welsh detected. With a few real place names. Oh, man.
Erwydva.
Erdwydva. Yeah. Anyway, drawn by a string of random attacks at the locals, vandalism, sightings of eerie beings, and the mist-shrouded mountain, the characters must band together to discover the cause. To save the local villages from further devastation, the characters will need to hunt down the goblins and find the source of their rise to power. The other one, there's like Terror in the Trekland, which I don't even know if they're selling again right now. Let me see if it's in there. Terror on the Trekland. Terror. Or maybe it's Death. Oh, this is cool. Castles of Crusades, reaping bones. In the huh. Maybe it's the... Yeah. Or maybe it's Death. Death in the Treklands. There it is. Death in the Trekland. This is really cool. My son is reading this one right now for I guess it's I1. And so he's trying to figure that out. He's really trying to look at a module for the first time. It's a good one. Death in the Trekland. But this has got 2 factions of goblins, which is really tough, I think. There's like good goblins and bad goblins, and I'm like, dude, just make the good goblins gnomes. And that way you don't have to worry about, are you a good witch or a bad witch? Like, are you a good goblin or a bad goblin? I like my goblins evil, man. Just keep them evil. We'll do no. So there's a cool little goblin character here that I'm like, just reskin him. So I'm teaching him like how to read an adventure and cherry pick the things he wants to do and not do. But this one is great because so the introduction here is the Grey King has arisen. Goblins and other evil fairies deep inside. Oh, look at this. I guess speaking of reading, so Ir Uthwithva.
Erwidva.
Erwidva. Erwidva. That's not Erwidva. I would do Airweedva. Erwidva. That's the gathering strength after centuries of dormancy, arriving from the other world. The blood heir of the ancient royal goblin dynasty has seized control of the wicked Fae to reclaim his birthright and plots to reconquer the now human-populated lands of the past. Common and eldritch goblins dominate the Grey King's ranks, with Spriggans and other dark fairies also under his reign. And I might even install a driver for my webcam. It's glitching out. So a decade has passed since the Grey King emerged from obscurity and took control over the less savory inhabitants of Erwidva and the surrounding regions. Recently, he has sent his minions out to plunder, loot, and slaughter from the local humans. Many humans were either slain or taken into the mountain for a fate unknown. As a result, the locals are now very afraid of any non-humans. The adventure will begin when the party travels through a village and find a ghost town, with odd traces of some battles and fires. Nothing more than empty houses and a few chickens remain. However, they do find an old man crazed and hiding in the well, with a small iron knife. He will tell them about the Grey King and his armies within Erwidva. The adventurers will need to explore the various sites around the ominous mountains for signs of entrances. While finding out more... I should be able to zoom in more. Oh, the other way. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Finding out more about the mysterious Goblin King. Goblin King! Goblin King! You have no power over me! The Grey King will send out scouts and guardians to discourage them. The Grey King has kidnapped many of the most beautiful local peasant women. In the region as concubines. He's hoping to breed a royal progeny that will soon dominate his newly conquered regions. Many villages in the region have sent their finest warriors and wizards to put the goblin in their place, but none have ever returned alive. If the adventurers manage to defeat the Grey King and his minions, the villages will honor them with festivals and honorific titles, even if the local nobles and ruler ignore their efforts. And then some notes for the castle keeper here. This mini-campaign involves a mix of investigative work and fierce battle as adventurers go from village to village and other locations around Erwidva. Trying to discover more. This is why these names need to be easy. Because you just sit there and you just chew on it like a cow and cud. And then I don't even know. I say it right and I want to just spike the football. Erwidva. Trying to discover more about the Grey King. There are 2 other mountains located in both sides of Erwidva. The Cribgoch, and what the Nichols. What is this? Come on.
A heroism.
Ihiwith.
A heroism.
Ahiwith.
A heroism.
Ahiwev. Ahiwev.
A heroism.
Ahiwev. All right. An Ahiwev. Ethiwith. Oh, maybe it's Ethiwith. Ethiwith. Oh my gosh, this doesn't... Anyway, and several lakes. The first thing I would do is scribble out every single one of these. Like, I'd edit PDF. New names. There's a sequence that needs to be followed in which the adventurers must accomplish to lead them eventually to the interiors of Erweedva. Deduction and research is needed in places, but is not the main focus of the story. It is essential that the castle keeper does not play his or her hand too early with the Grey King and his closest guard, but makes the players earn their way to confront him dramatically. Each stage of the adventure is like an onion's layer and needs to unfold on the player's journey. Ultimately, the characters will not only confront the mysterious king, but will also have to defeat the giant Ritagauer. Ritagauer, who will be brought back to life by the king. The giant was slain by the great warlord Arthur Epquither a few years ago and entombed within the mountain, but the Grey King seeks to resurrect the hill giant and cause havoc on the human and fae settlements equally. The Grey King's plan to resurrect the giant is not known by anyone, especially the party members. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I guess everyone should know, if we're reading a freaking adventure, we are spoiling the crap out of it. Little too late. And unless the characters have knowledge beforehand about Ritagar and Arthur's previous involvement, this was come as a terrible surprise to them as they storm the mountain. And then this Arthur is not the medieval Christian king where heavy suits of armor and massive stone castles were common. The post-Roman Celtic warlord or Celtic warlord from pseudo-history and myth that was the famous monster slayer, enemy of the Saxons, Irish, Picts, and adventurer. Oh, so there's two types of Arthurs. Good to know. All right. Castle Keeper will notice that many of the Fey beings and creatures in this module are both slightly familiar what they know from previous books and also very different. It's because many of these beings and monsters derive from Celtic myth. This guy had to have been the one to write the Celtic Codex. Codex. This guy. Codex Celtarium. Who wrote this? Additional information. Product history. Brian Young, it is. Now I make the connection. Okay. You can't have the PhD in frickin' Celticology. It's like, I don't have your linguist. He's probably... Is Brian Young actually... It would be funny if he was actually Celtic as well. It means it's like a +1 to speaking Celtic if you're Celtic. Oh, boy. Yeah, there needs to be like a 4... Yeah, man. Just want to draw. The Gwilly and the are both the Welsh traditional hellhounds. So these guys, hellhounds. Hellhounds. So their attributes reflect in this module. The other modules in the series explore this more, expanding on these different races, and monsters from mythology and lore will be a fully... Oh, look at that! Fully explored in the Celtic Otherworld World Book. So this is probably this Codex Solarium. Both the Treants and Sentients are lesser breed in this module meant to accommodate the low-level characters played within, and to be formidable terrors for starting level party members. It is advisable that the castle keeper should decide if using these weaker versions of the Sylvian creatures is a good idea or not, due to their halved strength. There'll be many moments when the players may be overwhelmed by the goblins, but teamwork is essential to defeat the Grey King and his growing horde. The castle keeper's judgment is also needed on increasing or decreasing the number of foes based on the party's level and strength. Several hooks are given below as examples of ideas that could give the castle keeper a means to place his players into this adventure. Would you use hooks, or would you just roll and make that happen? So that's a good question here. Hooks 1. So how many of these hooks are there? There's 4 hooks. 1d4. I need a d4. I should have dice. That's okay. I'm writing this down. I need dice. Dice. We need dice for this podcast. This is sad. I need to text my wife and see if she'll bring me some dice. Let's do this. I can't leave. We're doing this live. All right. Beautiful wife of mine. I wish I could speak Celtic. Could you bring me a set of dice, please? Or one of the boys. Do it, thanks. Pew. All right, we're making this happen. So, hook number 1, the character's over here somewhere in a tavern. Obviously, the best choice because we're in a tavern. Done. No other hooks required. This marketplace. So in a tavern, for sure. No, don't cross that out. Undo. Oh, how do I erase? There we go. Draw. Can I highlight? Oh, maybe I can highlight. Is there a highlighter? Tavern. Oh, I don't know what that is. Notes. Highlighter. Tavern. Yes. Dude, this is like Madden. We're going to do Madden for, this is going to be awesome. Oh, that sounds like my beautiful wife. Hello, honey.
Hello.
Thank you. Are these my wood set? Thank you. This is a wooden set of dice that I got, especially for Christmas. Each one individually packaged. These will be the first time I roll it. Here's our 1d4. All right, this is happening. Oh, man. Oh, these are nice. I have not actually taken these out of the package yet. Oh, scoot this up. All right. Wow. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get a little dice action there. Pull that up. Let's see if we can see the dice. Oh, yeah, a little bit. That's nice. Nice finish. So, here we go. First roll of the cast. 4. All right, let's take a look at hook number 4. Fleeing peasants from the territories around. Frickin' not that place. What are we gonna call that? Ye Willikers? Ye Wifagutta? In Penelin might be making their way to where the characters are and spreading stories of the horrors. Their stories could be the impetus needed to make the players go. So I would make this that wherever they're at right now, it's this peasants from one of the cities is going to come in, and maybe they're in obviously a tavern, and it's all these people are coming in disheveled and beaten and bloodied, and oh, we just lost our house. It was raided by goblins. And then it's like, goblins? Done. Let's kill them. All right, Act 1, finding the trail. Oh, that'd be perfect. You could just start it off in, or they're going to pen it. Oh, Penelin is the other place. Okay. So, The village of Pennant. Through the mist-shrouded forest road, a village comes into view. This is what's interesting. None of this is box text in this adventure. Which I think I'm a big fan of box text. I don't know if anybody else is, but I think you need to. I don't even know when was this made. This would have been made in the 2012. Okay. So box text should be in here. All right. Although through the mist-shrouded forest road, a village comes into view. It has many stone and mud roundhouses with thatched roofs. Wooden silos sit on stilts, and there are several empty stables. Smoke drifts from the various tops of homestead smithies. An unusual silence hangs over the village. There is no sign of people or their animals. Tracks and signs of struggle cover the dirt underfoot in all directions. I also am a big fan of, if we were playing now, it would be winter, you know? Like, I'd love to know, do you play, am I just that literal and dumbfounded? Do you play in other seasons than the one you're currently in? Like a Halloween game, right? You play Halloween, it's Halloween. You know? These dice are legit. So, when I was running this, it was snow. And it was kind of cool because you could see blood in the snow and the tracks and signs of struggle. There's a lot there. Oh, this is nice. It's the rounded sides of the D6 on this wood dice. That's pretty good. Nice contrast, too. Everything is left where it once was. Sewing looms, blacksmithing coals still smoking, pottery left on wheels, etc. Just a few livestock remain in the village, wandering lost and frightened. Tracks and signs of disturbance are everywhere. But essentially, Pennant is still whole, so the city is not burned and razed to the ground. No bodies are found anywhere in the village. And in parentheses, the villagers were taken. See, it's just tough. If you were trying to read this to your players right now, like trying to parse out, the villagers were taken by the goblins of the Grey King and are in the mountain. Like, oh, whoops. Nobody. So that's why I like box text so much, because it just gives everything nice, self-contained of what you need, and you don't accidentally reveal a huge plot point. Houses are stone and thatch roofed, which I feel like we said that up here. And then you know, thatch roofed. Yeah, thatched roofs. It has many stone and mud round houses with thatched roofs. Like bloop. Thatched roofs. Houses are stone roofed, round, and quite spacious. There are many homes with silos and stables for horses. Well, we just frickin' said that, man. But aside from the grain and other crops, everything else is either left where it was or missing. What the crap? So maybe this is supposed to be, like, what is... Alright, no crops. Everything else is either left... Oh, sorry. No gold coin are to be found. Only some cheaply made shell jewelry and rings of no value. Alright, then we ask the players to... Like, this probably could have just used a little bit of formatting. So ask the players to roll for hearing to notice a splashing and muffled man's voice. They will hear the sounds coming from a bottom... Okay, yeah. They will hear the sounds coming from the bottom of the village well. Peering inside, they find a wild-haired old man up to his waist in water. So you roll a hearing, which would be a wisdom check. So let's roll a wisdom check. 18. That's pretty good. That works. Oh, that's kind of... This dice... Maybe it's the table. Little rock and wooden dice here. It's got a little rock to it. So definitely hear the guy with any hearing, and if you're an elf, I think you're gonna get a bonus to your races. Elf. Pretty sure elves get +2 listen. And then also, I think halflings do, or gnomes do. Yep, elf lineage. If you're half elf on the elf side instead of the other deal. And then gnomes. Let's see, gnomes get a +3 listen. So frickin' listen checks. So is that a wisdom check or a listen check? I need to figure that out now. Castle keeper in the game. Let's do a search and listen check. I should know this. I think it's just a listen check. Oh, there's quite a few listens. Stay a while and listen. 72 and 81. Let's go, fam. Listen is a wisdom check. A rogue can use this. A rogue can listen. Okay, so it's an actual class ability. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Tyler will be joining us here momentarily. Cool, man. And then there's another listen. Where'd you go? Listen. Here you are. Listen 81. An assassin. So I guess there's a listen skill or a wisdom. I would just use wisdom, and if you're listening, that's a listen check. That's how I do it. And it's always okay. So I do have to say I love this part. He is going to, anytime you have a chance to play somebody with madness, is great. So this well, they're hearing sounds coming from the bottom of a village well. So it's like, hello, hey, what's going on? And peering inside, they find a wild-haired old man up to his waist in water. But he will speak with madness before he can see the adventurers. So, like, this truly should be, like, zoop over here a little bit. And the sounds, the muffled man's voice, and then this is what you hear. It says, "Begone, you foul creatures! Your attack failed, because I still live. And I will seek out your leader and slay him personally if I'm able. Beware, my dagger is magical. And can slay your kind with a mere slice." Anytime you could play a crazy person, I think is a lot of fun. So that's A+ right here. This is good stuff. A+, smiley face on this guy. Good stuff. Once the adventurers make their presence known to him and they are not goblins or other evil fairies, he will still not put away his knife, which is a little creepy. Unless he is helped out of the well, he will not talk about what happened. So, this is... I'm going to sneeze here. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I need a mute button. So, he will not talk about what happened. So, you have to, like, okay, this guy's just yelling. And you got to help him out of the well. Which I think is cool because, how do you get him out of the well? There's a great... So, what do they say? About 10 feet down? Or what is he? So, so it's not defined on how long the well is. So the village well could be however deep you want it to be. So then you're going to do goblins, many of them, with others stormed. So this is now this cat. What's this guy's name? Oh, we don't even know. We don't even know. Colwyn. This guy's name's Colwyn. So then Colwyn says, goblins, many of them, with others, stormed over the hills from the mountains of the Widdifa. Mount Shadow. Like, it's freaking called Goblins of Mount Shadow. Call it... Oh, that's funny. Isn't this the Shadow? The Mount Shadow. It was Shadow Mountain or something, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. It translated into like some shadow thing. I would all this I'd replace with Mount Shadow, because that's a badass name. So they swarmed our people and dragged them off. No one could defend themselves against them. I've never seen the like before. Goblins were acting like berserkers and fighting through as though they were giants. Fighting as though they were giants. They were unstoppable. The old man, if freed, runs. But see, this is what's weird. Unless he's held out of the well, he will not talk about what happened. So unless he's helped out of the well, he will not talk about what happened. This is what happened, but if freed, he runs about the village crazed. Oh, so maybe he's like saying all this while he's running around. So maybe that's what's going on. He's like running around and doing that stuff. So my name is Colwyn, and I think you strangers. And I think you strangers. Wait. Yes. My name is Colwyn, and I think you strangers. Oh, and I think you strangers to this part of the kingdom would be perfect. Yes, would be perfect. Yes, okay. So it's more like a dash, like a perfect, like he's mad ravings. He'd be perfect. Yes, perfect for what's needed to put the Grey King to an end before his reign of terror is impossible to hold back. And then he sweeps. Oh, and he sweeps across the land unhindered by the puny force of man. He is said to be lared in that mountain somewhere deep, guarded by his goblins and other evil beings, but many of them cannot be seen by the eyes of mortals. Colwyn runs from house to house, gathering goods and placing them into a woolen bag. He seems to be hurried and looking about him with paranoia. Yeah, you think? Once he has enough supplies to survive, he says to the adventurers, "It's best that you make your way." So, I mean, I wonder what... This is interesting. So, they're going to ask questions of this guy while he's running around. So, I don't know how you handle that. You just have to do mad ravings in a madman. And then, once he has enough supplies to survive, he says to the adventurers, "It's best that you make your way to the village of Trefwind." That's Trade Winds. I'm going to call that Trade Winds. This is now Trade Winds. What can I do here? Trade Winds. Trade Winds. Boom. Yes. It's mine now. I'm the captain. Trade Winds. And speak to the druid Anyan. If he still lives, he can tell you everything. Trade Winds is a few miles from here. See how much easier that is, and how much more confidence you have as a dungeon castle keeper in how you say this. To the north near... Frick you, man. Frick you. Lintigid? What? Lin to God. I'd be like Lin to God. It's going to be Lin to God. Lin. Lyn to God. To God. Lin to God. God. Lin to God. That's happening. You're Lin to God now. Anan is wise about the goblins and their mysterious leader that has been seen but not seen. Oh, may the gods protect you on your way, friends. I am leaving this kingdom to head to safer ground before the Grey King is completely unstoppable. Colwyn will dash off into the surrounding wooded hills, not looking back. He will not be easy to stop or capture. If so, or prevented from leaving, he will babble insanely and be of no further use to the adventurers. Like, this is the kind of thing where he's like, "No, Colwyn, you can't. It's too dangerous." There you go. If the adventurers studying the surrounding woods and hills near Pennant, they find the tracks of many goblins as well as larger, unidentifiable prints. Many deep furrows may also be seen, the villagers in bags carried by giant spriggans. Oh, many deep furrows can be also... Oh, this giant spriggans were carrying villagers in bags. I see it now. Ultimately, these tracks are directed towards Yerwurfa. There are several villages and lone cottages in the region that the adventurers can travel to. Castle Keeper's decision before ever reaching trade winds to find the druid Anyan, which sounds Chinese. Each location can be made into its own mini adventure before the adventurers ever arrive at trade winds. These villages and their details in brief are given below. Shut your mouth. Uchildriv, Penwit, Trenianaf, and Tion. Dark columns is supposed. Okay, so then these are all optional apparently. So you've got 4 optional villages before you get trade winds. So dark columns of smoke spiral high from the burnt remnants of dozens of round houses. This is all that's left of Uchildriv. This village was destroyed by fire. Assorted skeletal remains of sheep, chickens, and goats litter the earth. And Uncle Owen and Aunt Baru. Whoever attacked the village did so with great wrath and hatred to its inhabitants. This village, once populated by a couple hundred people, is now smoldering cinders and charred remains. Like, I think it's creepy. The first part's creepy because everybody is just gone and the village is left standing like they were just there. This is what I would expect to happen with goblins. So, this village, once populated by a couple hundred people, is now smoldering cinders and charred remains. The goblins of the Grey King recently attacked Uchildriv, leaving nothing standing over the villagers' brief resistance, and took the people off to Erweedfa. The partial skeletal remains of the sheep, poultry, and other domesticated animals lie scattered. See, like, I just don't... What is with this? This about the destruction. It just said assorted skeletal remains of sheep, chicken, literally earth. So, am I missing something? I feel like this should be like this is the box text. And then this is just more? I don't know. There's nothing salvageable in Uchildriv worth scavenging. So this is tough about like level 1 too. Like, how do you nothing salvageable? How do you balance that out for level 1? Because I mean, this is the part of you want to find stuff. I'd probably have like, there's no traces of the human inhabitants. There's nothing salvageable in Uchildriv. But I mean, maybe I guess the goblins took it all. Not evidence much concerning the actual events that unfolded here and where the innocent villagers were taken. As with all the attack villages around the ominous mountain, Shadow Mountain, Mount Shadow, there is a chance that dark fae sentries or scouts might still be lingering. So there is this whole thing that like, oh, this is cool. Oh yeah, random encounters for sure. There's a 1 in D8, 2 in D6 by night that the adventurers will be attacked. If so, refer to this table. So let's do a D8 and let's roll on a 1. There would be a random encounter. We got an 8. But if we rolled, it was a nighttime and we roll D6, 1 and 2 out of 6. 4. So, nope. But this is cool. 2d10 goblins. Dude, that is dope. Could you imagine being 3 people and you get freaking... What are you going to do with 2d10 goblins? Let's roll 2d10 goblins. 2 and 2. So 4. 4 goblins. I guess 2d10 goblins would be like 10 goblins. And this is a sad music, so we'll just move to this next one. Trying out a new sound pack from Monument Studios. So picked it up on Humble Bundle. as royalty-free music, so hopefully there's no copyright that's going to happen on this, but we'll see how it goes. 2 D10 goblins, hellhounds, so get rid of that. Spriggans, which are treants. Dark fairies mob, what or who? So it's just dark fairies. We get to pick kobolds, hobgoblins. So Penwent. Oh, Penwent. There we go. Penwent sits atop several prominent hills overlooking the lowland valley opposite to Shadow Mountain. Mount Shadow. A small stream runs through the serene but desolate village and falls into a large, clear blue pond below Penwent. The same still silence falls heavy over this village. As with the rest, the only chirp of birds and blowing breeze make a sound. Again, there's perfect box text. Located on a certain series of hillocks and exposed to the winds that come down from the mountains, Penwent is devoid of residents. Just like Penwent and Pennant. Unlike Pennant, however, this village is in pristine condition. Food... Wait. Unlike Pennant... Oh... So Pennant, all the food was like tossed and turned and people were just everywhere. But I thought it said, unlike Pennant, however, this village is in pristine condition. But wasn't it the same way up here? Everything, yeah, what the crap, man? Everything is left where it once was. Sewing looms, blacksmithing, coal, still smoking, pottery left on wheels. But there is tracks and signs of struggle, maybe. But that all right. Food is left in bowls. The hilltop village is eerily quiet without people or livestock. At the base of Penwent is a large pond of clean mountain water where the villagers would irrigate and swim. The pond is inhabited by 2 undines. Unundines? What's an unundine? I don't think I have my monsters and treasure. I have my Castle Keeper's Guide. But I do not have my monsters and treasure. I'll have to grab that. But it's not the new one. Oh, unless maybe it is. Let me see. Did they update it on drive-thru? I think I have the publisher, Trollzah Games. Castle Keeper's Guide. Player's Handbook. Undying War. Oh, maybe it's on the second page. Dictionary of Aird. No. I wonder where that is. I don't know if I've got the Castle Keeper's Guide. Early TLG. I wonder I might have to reach out to product support. See what we got. Okay, well, next. Keep an eye out for Tyler. What is it? All right, let's go. I gotta pull it up. Sorry, team. I gotta find where it is. It's probably on the old store. Trollzah Games. TLG store. Oh. All right. We're gonna get Tyler in here. Figure this out. I don't know how we're going to make this. I think I'll put Tyler in the right corner, maybe. Yes. I gotta figure out this angle, too. Because if I'm over here... This is me looking. Hello, hello, hello. And I don't think... I don't know if chat's working. I don't know if this is working. Restream? Oh, okay. Hopefully. Should see if there's anything on... Oh, that's not right at all. Okay, good. Whew. Last thing I want to do is miss any chat. Take a look at the player's handbook. Dude, so good. The assassin. All right. Killing time. Killing time. It says it wants bitrate values less than 4,000, so I will accommodate you, Twitch and or X or whoever you are. Stream output video. Good rolls tonight, though. That's fun. Oh, it says excellent. Oh, the embed URL. Oh, I can embed chat. I remember that. All right, we're getting Tyler's typing. I am there. I am here. I am here. I wonder if he needs me to call him. Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to give you a call? I would love to do a game where the chat plays. Like it's a West Marches campaign where chat plays. Okay, so let's call Tyler and see what's going on here. Oh, allow. Allow. Oh, we get this figured out. I'm going to see if I can... Hit a window capture of Discord. Select a window to capture. It'll be Discord. Look at that. And then we'll just throw that down there. We'll throw a filters. We'll do a crop. I don't know how much. Crop all that stuff out. Do. Doing it live. It's kind of the point of the stream, I guess. Alright, then left. Oh, it's moving. We would put this like over yonder, I think. Boop. There we go. Top. Left. Mm-hmm. 433 and then right. The good news is after I have this set up once. Oh! It appears I've been in for a thing. We'll call him again. Close. I'll take that and drag it over here. Maybe even throw a image mask on it. Maybe a circle mask. The alpha channel. Oh, that sounds good. Are you accepting the call? It's like tech support, live tech support. Oh, I hear Tyler.
Hello.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Okay.
Good, very good.
Is just audio or video on this?
Whatever you want to do. I can hide your video if you want.
Yeah, I've only used audio in the past on this back in 2018 and 19 when I was doing the podcast with Carl and Jesse. I've not done any video on this. I have been on Discord probably until this year. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah, very cool, man. Well, thanks for being here. We were just looking at, streaming a little bit, just testing this thing out. Looking at the Goblins of Mount Shadow was a thing that's kind of fun. But, yeah, I was just marking that up, and I don't know if you can see the stream or what.
No, it's like it's buffering or something. Let me see here. I've got options. That's end call. Let's turn off microphone.
Oh, yeah, we don't want
share
that.
Screen.
You could maybe turn off your camera. Maybe that works.
Let me see.
There you go. I think we're good.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, let me go back to camera here and see.
Cool.
Camera.
Well, here we can. I'll share my screen. Oh, site will be able to see the. There you go. So that's sharing my whole screen here.
Yeah, I turned off my camera.
Okie dokes. So yeah, man. How was your
All right,
day?
see you there. Okay, just work in the morning, take it easy for a while, and then work at night. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you, talk to me about your Castles and Crusades experience.
well, I met initially Steve Chenault, and then I don't know if you're familiar with Todd Gray.
I'd love to know more about him.
Yeah, he was with the company. He still is. He's one of Steven's old friends from back in the mid '80s. He's been in their longtime gaming group they talk about on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I met those guys in '03 and '04 over at Egyptian Campaign in Carbondale, Illinois. It was kind of a small convention. They were still selling. I had no clue who Troller Games was at the time, but they were in a dealer's room and they had D20 products for third edition at that time.
Yeah.
And so I met them 2 years in a row over there at a weekend convention, and then I think I might have bought a product or two, and then the CNC hardcover books came out in 2005, so that's when I bought mine. They were back again at that same convention. I think they went there from between '03 and '08, and so I mainly just played CNC at some conventions.
Oh. Well,
Hey, somebody.
yeah, this is my son Max is sneaking up behind me.
Hi.
Max is saying
Hey.
hey, and then we got to say hey to Chuck. Chuck just threw a Trollzah into the YouTube chat, which is pretty fun. Max, how are you? Max, you want to show everybody the shirt you're wearing? Here, you got to get real close here. It's a custom shirt, Houses and Humans, and it's a bunch of dragons playing Houses and Humans.
H&H.
H
Yeah.
and H, which is a lot
Like
of
the
fun.
dogs playing poker, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. The dog's playing poker, the dragon's playing dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Coming to say goodnight.
You someone to say goodnight?
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Love you.
It's good. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. There's our Friday night here at the Omaha house. It's good times. Yeah, it's Friday, dude. That's the best part about being on vacation. It's just losing all sense
Yeah, I
of space
couldn't
and time.
remember what day it was.
Yeah.
Everything's been thrown off, yeah.
So very cool, man.
Yeah, no, I think my first game of CNC was, there was one other guy at the convention. It was an Illinois local, I think, or something, and maybe he ran a game, but then I know Todd Gray ran a game for sure, and I played with him. And so those were my first two games of CNC, and I bought the Player's Handbook and the Monster and Treasure first printings, at that time. And then I started going to Gen Con. Now, this was after it was in Indianapolis at that point.
Oh, sure.
And I went in '05. Also went to another convention over in Illinois where Peter Bradley, their art director, was attending. I met him over there. And then met more of the crew, I guess, at Gen Con that year. David Chenault was there, Mark Sandy, a guy that used to do a little contribution or some work for them. And then he was also a guy that worked in their print shop for a number of years. And they were all at Gen Con. Davis Chenault obviously was there, and that's the first time I met Davis.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple other guys, Richard and Jason, who were working with Troll Lord kind of at conventions, and I think maybe and one of the guys did their website or tech support or something. So I just kind of mainly played CNC, kept buying the products, and then mainly played at convention games. I was at the time just playing quite a bit of Savage Worlds. The company that puts out Deadlands and Savage Worlds and all of that. And but then I played the odd game of CNC, but mostly at conventions. And then I think it was 2010 when after seeing Steven and Davis and all these guys at several cons each year, I asked them about selling product for them, sent him an email or something, and he said, sure. So they sent me some product, and my living room or bedroom, it was a miniature warehouse, full of Walsworth publishing boxes, and I did it for about 9 years. I miss it every day. I think it was from like 2010 to 2019, something like that.
Yeah. The warehouse
I've
action.
known
The
those guys
warehouse
for a
action.
long time. They're great guys.
Oh, yeah.
And well, Tim Burns, it was with I guess he may still be involved. I don't know if he's back in Maine now or not, but
Mhm.
I knew him for a long time as well. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about those guys. But I guess I've been playing CNC technically since 2005.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the best part, 2005 or 2025, which is about to be right around the corner here, same game. Just different printings.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely really hasn't changed all that much. I mean, I know they made a few changes, minor changes to some character classes over different printings. I would say, they changed the monk a little bit at one point, and I think maybe that fourth printing, if anybody remembers those green-covered Castles and Crusades books with the green borders on them, I think they changed the barbarian pretty significantly back then, or maybe they added some poison rules in the second printing and a little bit of this and that. But yeah, the siege engine, they always kept that the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fantastic system. I just love it. So do you Tyler, do you mostly play, or do you mostly CK, or what what's your poison?
Well, since departing, as far as my fanboy sales and demo guy job that I had, and I think the last time that I ran it at any conventions would have been in 2019. I believe the last Gary Con I was at was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I was not at Gamehole Con in 2019.
Okay.
I was at Archon. I ran 4 games there, kind of still with the company. I didn't have any merchandise. It wasn't selling in the dealer's room that year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I was going to go to DICON, which was another smaller convention not too far from St. Louis, where I had sold, product for Troll Lord and had even attended in years before that. We missed that one. I think I had car trouble or whatever. But yeah, that was the last time I really CK'd at any cons. And then probably since 2020, I think I have, believe it or not, maybe played 3 sessions or ran 3 sessions of CNC. That's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we got to get you back in the saddle.
Oh, I know. I've been trying to do that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Life gets in the way sometimes. There's a lot of, you got to put family first, and it seems like every year we're getting a little bit more full schedules, but that's when it's really important to take some time and make sure to decompress and get your game on.
Oh yeah. Now I think prior to 2010, probably the most CNC games I had run was just a small handful. I mainly played in them at conventions, largely with the Troll Lords themselves, or some of the guys that traveled, the conventions with them or whatever. But from 2010 on, I did run, I think, 3 games maybe in 2007 or a few sessions for people. But at the time, you still had other competing systems. Especially in 2005, there was still D&D 3.5, and that's what most people were playing.
Yep.
Or I was running Savage Worlds, and I actually used to demo quite a bit of Savage Worlds. I didn't actually work for their company, for Shane Hensley and those guys, but I ran a lot of that. But no, from 2010 on, and this would be at small cons and medium-sized cons, or the occasional big Gen Con. I would work in the dealer's room from pretty much when it would open, maybe take a break here and there, and then when the dealer's room would shut down, and then go run a game in the evening. So then you're talking 6 to 10 or 7 to 11 in the evening. So yeah, I put in a lot of hours on the clock as a CK, and not as much as a player, but usually if I was running the home campaign, most people don't advise doing this, but sometimes I would play a character on the side, just to play along with the party.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So you could kind of enjoy playing and running, I guess.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Yeah, I've lost you. I think it's muted.
Oh, you can hear me okay, or?
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
No, I've lost the volume. I'm not hearing you.
Oh, no, that's not good. Yeah, something must have happened there.
I haven't adjusted anything, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Weird. I wonder. It still says I got the microphone. Shoot.
Nope, still nothing.
I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Well, that's why we're doing this stream, to work out any of the technical difficulties around this. Oh, yeah, Chuck saying I wanted to stop in and say, hey, getting excited about this. I gotta head to Pillowland. Got a 5 a.m. alarm set. I'll hop in the convo on the weekend. Big game here tomorrow night. Well, Chuck, thanks for being here. We're gonna be troubleshooting some audio and seeing where this goes. So thanks for stopping in and dropping a line. Tyler, yeah. See,
Yeah, I can't hear anything at all.
Oh, let's maybe
I
we'll
can see the video, can't hear anything.
yeah, let's reconnect. I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect. So we'll just go blap, and then we'll join the call again. We'll see. Maybe is that working now, Tyler?
I can hear you now.
Must be a Discord bug. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it's everything was fine with the video, and then at one point I said whatever I said, and then I was waiting for you to respond. And your mouth was moving, and the audio wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, we looks like we're back in action. Lot to sort out here. Maybe got to make sure we can technically pull this thing off. You know.
Yeah, we did audio only with the old Crusader podcast.
Yeah.
And Carl Heil, he handled all of that, most of the technical stuff and the recording of the program and everything on his end in Arkansas. And Jesse Bailey, he was over in Ohio at that time, and I think he was maybe putting it out to various platforms, Podbean or some of that.
Oh yeah.
But I had nothing on the technical end though.
Yeah. Well, you know, we all have our roles, just like roles in the party, right? Like we got our thief, we've got our wizard, we've got our fighter. You know, everybody's got the skills.
Yeah, I mean, technical stuff. I mean, there's been various times. I worked in radio for a long time. Of course, I've been out of that since the end of 2007, and we would put together commercials and things, and for many years, a lot of that was on programs like Sound Audio Workshop and things. So, and when I was in high school, I was in a TV productions department where I was editing, professional television videotapes, like 3/4 inch video, and so I've had some skills, but largely as far as anything, broadcasting wise, as far as the computer isn't live streaming or any of that, or any of the programs, it's stuff I could probably learn but just never have.
Well, you know what? There's never a better time than now. So
yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tyler, you put in an order for the Reforged?
Yeah, and I know they sent me something recently and said something about the shipping charge or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I had a couple of add-on items, but I haven't seen anything indicating, and I'll have to check with Chuck as far as, or whoever, when they're back in the office, I think next week, to see when that stuff's going to ship out.
Sure. You excited?
I know I got. Oh yeah. It'll be different, but I think it's probably a good move in some ways, just because of the uncertainty of what Wizards of the Coast could potentially do down the road. I mean, they could, I was kind of out of the loop, but I guess at one point they proposed a OGL 1.1 as opposed to the old Open Gaming License 1.0, and it wasn't well received, till I understand. But Troll Lord Games, and then I think even ISO may have made changes to some of the spell names and other things that I thought were covered by the Open Gaming License or whatever. People are just trying to play it safe. Nobody can out lawyer Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro.
Talk about the spell book. Like having it ready to go. Yeah, they got all the deep magic.
Yeah, and I mean, I think other than just for most people just getting used to the new terminology, I'm trying to think what were they going to call Magic Missile now? I don't even remember. I know Chuck and those guys have discussed it, what the name is going to be for Magic Missile, or Light Wounds was going to be Heal something.
Oh, I think I have to do a little bit of adjustment on my end here. I'm realizing that I'm getting two of you. I think I need to adjust. Yeah, it's nothing you're doing. It's just all me. I have to get my... actually, I can probably do it on my other computer. Let me try that.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know for sure if I've got this microphone on the Yeti, but I may still have a microphone. It may not be muted. It's on a part of this camera with the Chromebook. I can mute that and see what happens.
Oh, I actually think it's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm seeing a weird A weird double thing. What is the whole point of this, though, is to figure that out, you know? And I think, let's see.
Yeah, I wasn't sure as far as streaming with having the camera has a where I can, when it's pulled up, I can mute that microphone, and I've got the Yeti on, and I'm trying to see let me get my glasses here.
I think I got it now.
That's a gain and a pattern. Let me see what's on the back here.
Yep, I got it. Oh, yeah, actually, I wonder if as you get closer, you sound a lot better.
Okay, yeah, I don't have this microphone very close. It's a little closer now.
Yeah, what's the setting you have on the one thing about the Yeti is it's got a couple pickup patterns here.
Yeah, I see a few different patterns, and I haven't read about those. Let's see, I can switch these and see. Okay, there's this one. Not sure how that sounds.
Yeah, why don't you say a few more words?
Okay, hello, testing 1, 2. And I'd have to pull out the manual to see what these settings are. I did not look at that. There's setting. Hello, testing.
That's
1,
the one
2.
you want, right there.
Okay, all right. It's the second one. Okay, and then I see I've got gain here. I guess that's pretty good for the moment. And then volume, I think I've got it up 3/4 of the way.
Perfect. Yeah, you sound much, much better now.
Probably want this turned around. I've got this turned the other way, but I'll figure that out later.
Yeah, and you actually, so the Yeti is interesting. You actually don't talk into it like you would a microphone. Like me, you actually have to talk into the side. Oh, let's see. Oh, if we could show this up here. You have to talk into the side of it. Like if I was talking on top of it, it doesn't work as well if I'm talking on the side of it. So yours works the same way as mine does.
And I've had it mostly off to the side here, and then I've got a pop filter with it.
Yeah. Yep. You just want to talk into like the Yeti logo.
Yeah. Actually, it needs to be turned around, but let me do this really quick. Let's see. Let me switch this around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one I had for the Crusader podcast was a Snowball, I think.
Oh yeah, Snowball's a great mic.
Yeah, I think it was. I think they were about $50 or $60 at the time, or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah, you should be on the cardioid. It looks like a mushroom with no stem.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one you want.
And I'm trying to think as far as a camera. I had some sort of external camera. Yep. I don't remember what it was.
I wouldn't worry. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
Let me see if I can get this mounted on from this side now. Hang on a minute. Let's see.
Sure.
But I've not done any online editing or anything on my computer as far as any video or audio editing programs. And I think the first computer I had, I was dating somebody in the mid 90s, and she had a Tandy computer from Radio Shack, one of those old 486 processors or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've probably been online, at home since sometime in 1996, but I just, whatever reason, despite being in radio and all that, I never did any audio or any video editing. And I'm sure it's relatively simple. I mean, I used a program at work, at least from around the late 90s, early 2000s, called a SAW, Sound Audio Workshop.
Sure.
And you would take these, you could create these regions by double clicking where you wanted to start if you recorded, lay down some vocals, or you're reading script or whatever, and then you could click to here and create what they call a region.
Yeah, multi-track editing.
And so I did all that, and I think it had 8 or 16 tracks on it. You could lay music under it. So that, I'm sure whatever, people do on their home computers is probably as simple as that, Yeah,
there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Yeah, and I already have kind of an idea of how some of it might work just because I had used that program back in the day, but for whatever reason at home, I just never did any of that. I don't know if I know less than Steven Chenault about computers. It's possible.
Well, the good news is that we're just talking about Castles and Crusades. So no PhD in information management systems required.
Yeah, that's really good. We get this pop filter to kind of line up right and not want to swivel all over the place.
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
Boy. Yeah, that's the trick right there. Let's see. Gonna get it tightened up. Oh, that's gonna have to be good enough. I think it'll stay in place. There we go.
Sounding wonderful. More than wonderful.
Right.
Sounding stupendous. Sounding like sounding let me do a listen check. Let's see if I can do a listen check here. Oh, a 12. 12.
12, yeah.
So that's pretty good. I mean, that'd be base if it was a prime stat.
If it's a prime stat and there's no any modifiers
That's
added
right.
to that, sure. Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. We're level 1. We're still learning. We're still figuring it out.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now, as far as video, do we need to try and do something with that? Because if we're gonna,
Nah. We are A-okay, I think. I think just talking about Castles and Crusades would be a great place to start. As I'm hunting for my monsters and treasure right now. That's my...
Yeah, I've got my other previous printings back in the room. If I need them, I can get those out or
whatever. I mean, just talking about it and seeing what's up. I mean, I got the player's handbook, the new player's handbook out. If you, which I can screen share if you want, or I don't know, what do you want to talk about? Like, because Tyler, we were kind of talking with Chuck about possibly doing a Castles and Crusades podcast, right?
Right.
So what were you like? If you could wave a magic wand and have the perfect Castles and Crusades podcast, what would it be?
Oh boy. Well, I guess first you determine, if we're going to do this weekly, or if we're going to do it once a month, or twice a month, or whatever. And then, like you said at one point, you could probably focus on a specific topic for each installment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of what we did on the Crusader podcast. I mean, I guess we did things too where, hey, what gaming you're doing this week, or sometimes there'd be a convention update. But then sometimes it would be, okay, let's interview Steven Chenault. We did Steven Chenault and then David Chenault for an interview.
Yeah.
And then Matt Golden, who was one of the main co-creators of Castles and Crusades, and he was actually the first CEO, really, of the company.
Oh, wow.
So we did that. We did those kind of interviews. I know at one point, either just right before I departed, but I think I was unavailable, or just after I departed, I think the Chuck and Jesse, I'm not Chuck and Jesse, but Carl and Jesse interviewed Jason Vey, and they may have talked to him about Amazing Adventures and some of his War Controller games. And then I think after I was gone, they interviewed James Ward, which he was a great guy. I knew him, met him in 2009, and then I knew him from about 2013 on. And they interviewed him. Of course, he's the guy that did, Gamma World and Metamorphosis Alpha and Deities and Demigods, and then he did Products of Troll War Games. So sometimes they would do those kind of interviews with people from the company or whatever. And then I know there were other ones, I think after I was gone, where they looked at specific adventures. They may have focused on, let's look at A1 or A0 and do a review or kind of talk about all the finer points of it. Or it seems like we focused on Adventurer's Backpack on an installment. So there's all sorts of stuff you can do, or house rules or whatever.
Yeah. I love it. Well, yeah, I've got, what do you want to talk about today?
Boy, that's hopefully it's something hopefully it's something I'm fairly knowledgeable about. I've been rusty for a while.
Well, that's why
I've ran a few.
that's why you get to pick it.
Yeah, I ran a few sessions for my fiance's son and a few of his kids and her daughter and granddaughter. I guess that was last year. We played 2 or 3 sessions, and then I think one other session with my son at one point. But that was even a year or so before that. And those are really the games of CNC that I have run or played.
Yeah.
Since 2019.
Yeah.
I guess we could. I don't know if maybe starting out initially it'd be good to talk about maybe the new reforged material. Like I said, I don't have any of that here, but I mean, as far as the changes and or I don't know if that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. Maybe we just get your initial, because you haven't seen it yet, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna share this screen here with you on Discord. Can you see it? Can you see the player's handbook?
I just see your JO.
Oh, it doesn't. Is there anything that there's a view? You don't see the streaming or anything?
No, you had something pulled up earlier, and you were on the screen as well. And then at one point, when I finished saying something, I saw you speaking. Couldn't hear anything at that point. The audio had dropped.
Oh, then maybe we can't do sharing. So that's not showing at all. Is it showing now?
No.
All right. Well,
but earlier I was seeing something that I guess maybe might have been from.
Well, we probably don't want to do that then. How do we do this? How do we look at stuff together?
So they've sent out the PDFs to backers, I guess, through drive-through.
Yeah. Do you have drive-through?
I do, but I'd have to. I'll see if I don't think I've received an email. I'll have to do a search here. Let me.
Yeah, it's the old one. It was back in September.
Oh.
Yep.
It's not the finished one, right?
It is, but they call it the early _TLG _A01011 Players Handbook PDF 9/13/24.
Let's see.
It updates itself.
Let me pull it up on my phone. Let's see. Let me do a search. Boy, this is going to pull up any number of things.
Well, good news is you're not sharing your screen, so I mean, hey, it could be anything.
Yeah, this I've just got on my phone here. Let's see. Project 29 update. Combo discussing Reforged CNC. Latest version of C players. This is an email from June 26, 24. Let me see what's on here.
Yeah, I would just log into your drive-through account and it'll be in your downloads.
Oh, this is just saying something about the index has not been updated.
Yeah.
Spell charts, the page number entries, the new forward is not written. The spell chart is in the back of the book. And then it says go here, particular address, Reforged. Let me I'll pull it up on my phone, although
on drive-through where you can download it.
I can pull it up here on this Chromebook, I suppose, too.
Yeah, I mean wherever you can download it.
As long as it doesn't, it may be easier to read it there.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't interfere with anything we're doing here. Still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, let's see. Drive through RPG. Okay, drive through. Okay, I'm probably not logged in here. Let's see.
Yeah, I had to log into mine.
Okay, I think I know what this is.
No, you can't have this.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. We'll go with that. Okay, pulled up. Let me check my library and see what's in there. I haven't looked at this in several months.
Yeah, yeah. It should be in there. It's just older.
Let's see. Well, there's several Crusader journals here.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things I bought early on from the Troll Lords as well. Back in, I think, '05 maybe, was a Crusader #2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's see. These are the older ones here. I'm trying to see. These must not be in any particular order. I'm wondering where the newer. I'm seeing a couple of. I'm seeing about 4 C series adventures. Okay, let me.
Yeah, so I
go to
did a
page 2.
search. There's a publisher search up in the upper left
Yeah,
hand
that-
corner. And if you click on that, it'll add filter, and then a publisher box pops up. And I typed in Troll Lord Games, and mine came up right away.
Let me see here. Yeah, let's go to publisher. Okay, not seeing. Oh, yeah, let me do this. Okay, let's try that. Okay, Troll Lord Games. It's loading the library. Wow, this is kind of what I had pulled up earlier.
No, that's good
Let me
news. That means that
change-
everything you own is Troll Lord Games.
Yeah, there could be some Savage World stuff in there, maybe, and then, but most of it's going to be Troll Lord. Let me
Yeah.
see what's on page 2 here. I'm not sure if I've downloaded this or not yet. To be honest with you,
Oh, did you not associate it with your account?
I'm seeing Castle Keeper's Guide, Lands of Ursel map, the Almanac books, those NPC almanacs.
Yeah.
I may have to do a search for this specific thing and then see about adding it. Now, some of these are, these are various dates. I'm seeing stuff dated back to 15. It may be when they updated some of these things.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a mess. Wine meal prepared here. I think it said there were 123 items. Some of those dollar PDFs that they had that were just PDF only are in here.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Some of the Castle Zagig town districts, there were about 4 or 5 of those that were in print and on PDF. Crusader 1, which you could only get that on PDF. I think that had, by the time I was buying something. Well, is that all that's there? That's all I've got. Let me go to account, see what's going on here. There must be a way to search for this. Oh, man. Wait. It's in my inbox. Maybe there's stuff that's there that I haven't opened up.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably where it's going to be. Okay, magnetic press plate. That's some of that Planet of the Apes stuff that I've yet to receive yet, except for the
No.
Pro Lord Games, free titles, unread, December 13th, 2024. Let me pull up read here and see what happens. Seeing it.
Otherwise, just any other PDF you got. I mean, if we have the same PDF, we could just kind of talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm seeing various free digital download Troller games. October 15th. Let me pull this up.
So I've got a Bergman Outlandish. I've got Castles of Crusades, Bluffside, City on the Edge. The Free City.
Why these aren't?
Yeah. Heart of Glass. Do you have Heart of Glass?
Potentially. Let me go back to my library. I don't know why these aren't pulling up. I've got mark as read, read, archive, and delete.
Sure.
They've sent a ton of emails here, and I haven't looked at hardly any of them as far as the digital stuff. And then again, some of the stuff might be items that some of those may be in their store as far as some of the downloads. I don't know if
Yeah.
in the Troll Lord store. Yeah, it's not allowing me to click on those. It just says unread on a bunch of these.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a... I've got Heart of Glass. I've got the Town of Kalis. I've got the A13 Offstrag level 1.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. I think let's see what's going on here
Did you
now.
crack the code?
Oh, that's Amazing Adventures. Hang on. Let's see. I'm seeing if I can find the player's handbook. That's the one I really need to. Okay, link to your free Castles and Crusades player's handbook. This is from June 8th. Let's see what this.
Let's go.
Let's pull this up. Preview. Okay, we'll pull it up. You cannot access this content right now. Your loot is in another cave.
No, no.
What? Let me go back. Let me see if there's another email. Oh, now it's gone back. Hang on. More games.
Do you just want to read me some of the PDFs you have, and then I can see if I've got them, and I can sync up?
Yeah, let me get back to my account because what I'm on here now is just a list of their products. Let me get back to.
I even like the Codex of Erd.
Yeah, I think it's in here. Let's see.
Okay, because I've got the Codex of Erd. I've got Castles and Crusades, Monsters and Treasure of Erd, the Trail Guide to Erd.
Just went to publisher again. It's back on a different page now. Hang on. Let's see. Games. Let me get back to my account here.
See if I move this over here. Move this here.
Okay, let me go to page 2 and see what's here. Free City of Cascadia, Heart of Glass.
Oh, Heart of Glass. Let's do Heart of Glass.
Okay.
All right, let me download Heart of Glass. S1
Yeah,
Heart of Glass download.
Yeah, I didn't bundle. I think I own this already. Should. Showing a price on it, but I think I already have this.
Oh, do you not have Heart of Glass?
I think I do.
Okay.
Okay, this is just the image here, isn't it? Yes.
Just tell me any PDF that you download.
Yeah. Start new discussion rules. Let me go back because this is in my library, so I should own this. Back here again. Here we go. It was on the wrong. Yeah, there we go. No. Here we go. Show. Here we go. Okay. Should be pulling it up.
Cool.
Open and edit. Let's see. Download complete. Show. I can't see all of it on my screen. Hang on a minute. No. I can't see what these options are down here. My screen's got it covered up. Weird. I'll click on one of these and see what happens. I can't read what it says though. No, that's not it. Download complete. Not able to click on the open and edit.
Man, we are. This is a riveting stream tonight. We are just. This is the tech support PDF club opening.
Okay, here we go. That's something here. All right. Create shortcuts for your files. Play files, I guess. No. That's not letting me click on those at all.
That's strange.
Let me try another one. Let's see.
It's like not letting you download PDF files, or?
Well, I pulled up my library. I'm on page 2. And it shows several things. I'm seeing Stains Upon the Green Adventurer's Backpack, Heart of Glass here.
So when you see Heart of Glass, is there a blue download button?
Yeah, there's a download, and I've clicked on that.
So you click on the blue download button, and then what
And it
happens?
says download complete.
And then it's in your downloads, and there should be like a little downloads folder.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see. I see a option for show in folder. I can't click on it. Well, I just did. But now it's just showing my files and downloads.
Yeah,
it should be showing that I pulled this.
Should be in downloads, right?
Seems like yeah, and it seems like I pulled this thing up fine. That pop filter just fell. Okay, hang on a minute.
Okay.
It says create shortcut for your files, dismiss. And it shows that I've pulled this thing up 5 times. It's not giving me an option to click on any of it.
So how do I view a PDF that I downloaded in a Chromebook?
I think I've even looked at some of these on my phone before. It's been a while, but...
So it says find the PDF you want to open from your Files app. Single click on the file to select it, then select open at the top of the window. This will open a drop-down menu of different applications. Choose the application you want to use to open the PDF. This will open the PDF in a new window for viewing.
Okay, it's opening now, so yeah. All right, here we go. I don't know what's up with that. That was weird.
Yeah, super weird. All right, so Heart of Glass? Or what are we opening?
Yeah, that's the one I've got open. Okay. Seeing if I can scroll down. No, I'm going to have to click on each page, it looks like. The way this Chromebook is set up. I don't have a mouse or this or anything, so it's... Here's page 2, 3.
Oh, cool. Well, we could work through this. So, looking at The Heart of Glass by Stephen Chenault.
And Todd Gray.
And Todd Gray?
I don't know if his name is on there, but yeah, he's a co-author for sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it says Stephen Chenault, but I could swear Todd... I'd have to check that. I'd have to look that up, but I believe he was. But he's not listed anywhere in here.
Yeah, that's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah. Maybe my memory's faulty on that one.
Yeah, who knows? So, it starts off for the greater good. And this is what you would have of me? The paladin sighed, looking to the ground. I would not bring this upon you. If I could, I would suffer your damnation. He shook his head. But there is nothing else we may do. Do you want to read the next paragraph?
Malcolm of Hellowell turned away. You're a bastard, but of course you know this. He looked to his hands, wrinkles and bones. They no longer bore the strength to wield a blade or heft a shield. How had this come to pass, he mused, his youth stolen in so few years. In days he aged months, in months years. There was no doubt some eldritch magic somehow involved with the wars. He stood upon the brink of death, and he knew it.
And now they needed him. They needed his life prolonged for some spell or some such. Somehow, he was the key. How long do I have, mage?
The old wizard shook his head. His voice was calm and cool. A day or two at the most. You either take Sagramore's way, or we bury you and the power you carry.
And then the world would die, and men would suffer, and no doubt the cows would not come home. He looked about him, searching for his flask and the comfort that it held.
No, the world would not die, but the wars will go on and the fight will be harder. Many will die and suffer for the want of your courage.
Malcolm turned then. Want of courage? You ask me to enter the lair of the beast, to surrender all that is mine, and give him my everything? This to keep me alive for your precious war? I will not die, but rather I will live. But what kind of life? You see him feeding off the blood of others, feasting upon those he should help. You would damn me to an eternity of this? You question my courage?
Mage looked on impassive, but the paladin spoke. You must decide, Malcolm. Only you may make this decision, but I tell you this, I shall slay you in the end. And you shall have no pain that is to be home in this world. And Durandale will open his arms to you.
Curses upon Durandale! Curses upon you! Curses upon your misbegotten war! He coughed, sagging against his own staff. He was so old. Damn you all!
Malcolm Hellowell turned to his... I'm sorry, I've got these glasses. The print is...
It's tiny. You can use Control Plus, and it should blow it up for you.
Yeah, I'm going to have it just a little bit. I feel like Kirk with these...
Yeah, I have it massive in order to read it.
Yeah. There we go. That'll bit.
Is that better?
We're going to read through this, and then...
I don't know.
And we're going to have a discussion on the
Yeah,
adventure
why not?
itself.
Yeah, sounds good. Whatever. We're just spitballing, man. We're just playing jazz right now. We're playing Castles and Crusades jazz.
All right. Let me see where we left off here.
Malcolm of Hellowell.
Yes. Malcolm of Hellowell turned to the broken ruins of the castle once more. The snow swirled around him, obscuring his vision. Smell of fear hung in the air. There was something else, the smell of death. Black clouds rumbled in the sky. It was so cold, he thought, so very cold.
He left them there, standing in the snow. He entered the castle where the beast lived. Sagramore the vampire, a creature called by the priests. The Necratool, once strode the world as a great sorcerer, but now his path was an evil one, for he lived as a beast, feeding upon the living.
Got a minute.
You're good.
You see if I can adjust this over here
Yeah.
just a little bit.
While you adjust it, I'll read the next paragraph. They watched as he vanished beneath the awnings of the ruined gate. The screams of his pain and horror carried over the barren wastes and into the ice-bound wilds. So, Malcolm of Hillywell, knight and paladin of the Holy Defenders, sacrificed his place in heaven for the greater good of the world. So, Malcolm of Hillywell gained immortality and became a vampire. All for the greater good. The greater good. Holy crap, what an intro!
Yeah.
Is that crazy? Oh, here's the await.
Oh,
read,
yeah.
Await and read no more. And there's a little poem.
There we go.
Little poem.
There can be but one who unravels this knot, for the game to run, which troll lords begot. So wait, hold you still, keep your tongue, unless you grist the gaming mill, until a troll bell is rung. If that bell does ring, you'll see, so players back and away, the master of games you be.
Castle Keeper.
From the troll's work stay, the master alone must read and employ, for the players the game to thoroughly enjoy.
Holy cow. What a great don't read this unless you're being the Castle Keeper, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
all
So
amazing.
Tyler, what an amazing entry to start this thing off, man. It's almost like, oh man. I mean, a palette, like just the Malcolm of Hillywell and these paladins. I've got a super soft spot in my heart for paladins. Like paladins are my class. They're what I run. I'm lawful good or good. That is my jam. What was going through your mind when you were reading this?
Well, I was going to point out that as I recall, this is among many products that I sold for years and years. I know this adventure takes place in the sea towns of Ilsa. I'm trying to think of which part of Aird that's located. It's been some time. I know this was kind of a sea adventure. It seems like a kind of a break from the usual dungeoneering, more of a city mystery and intrigue and that sort of thing. And this would be a great adventure if you're looking for something a little bit different for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great segue into using the module's adventure. So Heart of Glass is an adventure setting for fantasy roleplay. The module is designed for a group of 3 to 6 characters of levels 4 to 6. Already an S1, so the first one in the series, kicking things off at levels 4 to 6. Arguably level 4, one of the most fun levels to play in Castles and Crusades. They're all fun, but level 4, you get a little bit more wiggle than you do, I think, in 1. The lower the level of the characters, the larger the party should be in size. If it's 6 characters of level 4, 5 characters of 5, 3 or 4 of level 6. A well-rounded party would be helpful, but at least one rogue is necessary. I find those as challenge words. Like, I feel like that the gauntlet has been thrown, Tyler. What do you think when they say class is necessary?
Well, there's always the group that wants to play anything but the necessary classes.
That's right.
So sure that, and why not? Maybe somebody wants a bard or I don't know, or some out of place gnome. I don't know.
That's right. I'll show you what's necessary. It's sterile and I like the taste. All right. The adventure takes place in the sea town of Ilsa. Ding, 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 ding. You nailed it. Did I say it right? Is it Elsa?
I did remember that.
Yes. Ravine Nochi and Capranara, which at least these are, I was just reading the another adventure before this one that has all these Welsh names, these Gaelic names that I couldn't pronounce. At least these have easier to pronounce names that are still rooted in fantasy. What do you think of that, Tyler?
Yeah, and you never know. There's also the Chenault pronunciations of, you see all sorts of, be it racial names or geographic locations in Aird, and then you think, well, I'm pronouncing it one way, and then you hear Steven perhaps on his Ask Me Anything or some of his live streams, or Davis. I think I've heard Davis pronounce various cities or countries in Aird or even in I'm struggling here for a moment. His world of In Zay, or is it in Zay? Yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I've heard Davis have multiple pronunciations. I think some of it's part Arkansas, some of it's part their time in Germany as well. They for a time they were military brats for a while and traveled here and there with their dad, who was a Vietnam vet, and they were in Heidelberg, I think, at one point, maybe in the early '80s, and certainly that had an influence on Aird as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's definitely, well, but still I can pronounce these. So I got Elsa, which kind of gives me Frozen vibes a little bit, but Ravine Nochi and Capanara. They say portions of each town are detailed, including economy, government, persons of note, guilds, and places of interest. The events surrounding the magical Heart of Glass provides a backdrop to the towns and serves to introduce both to the castle keeper and the players to what should develop into a fun and robust setting that offers many nights of enjoyment and play. Each part of the Heart of Glass lends itself to ready play. However, for adventure purposes, the castle keeper should at least skim the module in order to familiarize themselves with the adventure setting structure. Tyler, skim it or do it live? What do you think? Or plan. Is there a happy middle ground, or where do you think?
Yeah, this is a long one, as I recall. This is not your average 10 or 15 or 24 page module. This one, I think, I'm trying to think if this is like 60 pages, I believe.
This goes to, let's see, there's maps at the bottom. Page, man, where is this? We're in pages 65. Yeah, 65 pages.
Well, I'm working from memory here. I must have sold enough of those.
Yeah, I guess so.
Time.
Holy cats.
Well, and of course, I bought it at some point as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So
the author.
Have you played this?
I have not played this one. There were some that I had not played as much. I know I played through a part of the A series for sure. And I have run some in the S series, and I'm trying to think if the S, I should know this, if it stands for Steven or what it was, or if they just kind of borrowed from various series letters from TSR back in the day. But there were other adventures that were not necessarily interconnected, like trying to think if S2 was Lure of Delusion. That was one that took place in a particular part of Aird. And then there was another one, Dwarven Glory. Mm-hmm. And actually, those are not too far apart geographically speaking. That was a series of 3 mini adventures. And then it seems like there was at least another S adventure, which escapes me at the moment. But they weren't necessarily interconnected. But I played, for sure, Lure of Delusion and Dwarven Glory multiple times on those. And then some of the C series, at least Immortality of Green and a few of the early ones. And I want to say, what was the other one? Shadows of Halfling Hall, for sure. So there are some that I did run. And then sometimes I would run adventures out of what few there were in some of the Crusader magazines back in the day, and a few others.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, I've not played this either. I don't think I have it published, so I think I just have this as a PDF. So I don't have a print version of this. I don't know. Is this available on the web store? Let's take a look if Heart of Glass is on the web store or not.
Seems like I looked at the web store in the last week, and I don't remember if it was on there or not. I know they, at one point, or as I recall, that Chuck and some of the guys were in the process of updating some of the spells.
It's there. It's so there.
Things that may have changed.
Yeah, Castles and Crusades S1 Heart of Glass, print and PDF for $15.99 right now. You can get it print for $12.99 or just the PDF for $6.99. TLG 8314D. I don't know what the D stands for. And super good stuff. So second printing, 60-page count. Soft cover, black and white. Last updated just this year, April 26, 24. So, adventure breakdown.
Which makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if that's an update for the maybe to change the spell names. To break away from the open gaming.
Yeah, maybe. I'd have to take a look.
I know there were plans of where they were going to update various adventures, as I recall,
Yeah.
and get them to the store over time.
Let's see if there is OGL in the copyright. Great. Yeah, I don't see it in here. But it might be in the back. There's Siege.
And then it would just be a matter of probably looking through the adventure and if there are any magical characters, any wizards or
yeah.
I don't think it'd be druids necessarily, and seeing, okay,
there it is.
they have these spells.
Open game license in here. So, looks like they didn't rip it out of the version that I downloaded, at least.
Okay, yeah.
Well, they're working on it.
They've updated
every little bits. I mean, Reforged was the big bad boy. That was the one that they made it happen, and so it'll be interesting now to see how much they go back and prune the rest.
Yeah, I think they're going to do that with quite a few things, I believe. I don't know if they planned on necessarily bringing back everything they've ever had in print. I think it was Jeremy, and I've not actually met Jeremy in person, who's been working with Trollzah for
he's fantastic. Now. I met him at
I've seen I have interacted with him on some of the live streams a little bit and that sort of thing. I just have not met him in person at this point, but
super cool.
I think he was the one that commented at some point on probably a Thursday live stream with the guys that, what are you going to do? Keep every adventure you've done in 20 something years in print? Most companies don't do that, but I think they should.
I mean, where's the omnibus? We need an omnibus, and yeah. Get them all
those adventures. Let me think. What Chimera's Roost is one that has not been back in print for a long time. That's one that comes to mind. Curse of the Khan, that may be another one that I think might have been a part of the U series that is not in print. I say bring them all back. Just go for broke.
Well, it's print on demand, man. Like freaking, you don't need to print out a ton of them. If you just print on demand, it's money, and then you don't have inventory.
My thought is that Stephen and Davis's nephew, Dakota McMurray, he has nothing else going on. They're working in the print shop in Arkansas. I mean, you could just say, hey, I want a copy of Chimera's Roost. Pull up the PDF, print it, make it so.
There it is.
Whichever one you want,
Yeah, he's got nothing else he's doing. So it's just,
he'll chop it up and give you whatever you want.
That's right. He is the man of many talents. So do you, when you CK, how much prep do you do?
You try to do some if you can, but as life gets in the way.
Oh yeah.
I know some people, when you talk to especially some old school gamers, a lot of times you'll hear some of the guys say, I never buy any modules. I just don't buy modules. I don't use them. Or some people will just grab a few ideas out of them or whatever. But I tend to be the person that will generally, I've made a few adventures or whatever, but I tend to, just based on limited time and things, tend to run published adventures. Maybe make a few changes, but yeah. I like having those resources, and at this point, if you're getting in on Troll Lord Games, when I was first buying, there was not a lot of material out there. Had been some D20 adventures they had done for 3rd edition, and some other products of that nature. But you got to figure in 2004, I guess, when that little white box set came out, which I didn't buy incidentally. I missed out on that initially, but got one within the first whatever they did 1,000 of them, I think, and I had one of those 1,000 copies, I guess. But,
sure.
There weren't a lot of adventures at the time. There were some, and then they kind of kept cranking them out. So for me, it was always a useful thing. But now if you're getting in, the choices are endless. And even if it's something that's not presently in print there in the warehouse in Arkansas, they're still online, or many of them, if I'm not mistaken, are still available on drive-thru, even if it's not in the Troll Lord store.
Oh, for sure. And I think they're updating the store.
But nowadays, you can just grab up all sorts of things.
Yeah, big time. So you like to run the pre-published stuff, but when you run the pre-published stuff, how much prep are you doing? Like, are you going through cover to cover, or are you cracking it for the first time at the table?
Generally, you try and do a read through or so, just to kind of get the general overview of the adventure. Obviously, I I try not to do that. I mean, because that can be disastrous. Now, occasionally, you can get a little overambitious at a convention, and you've got let me think, like the 4-hour time slot.
Yep.
And then you get in there, it's like, oh, this is more like a 5 or a 6. Like, oh man, So sometimes you got to cut some things out. But no, you try to read through and try and get a feel for the NPCs and know. I mean, of course, there are the random tables. If you're going with random tables, you never know what you're going to get, I guess. But as far as some of the other stuff, you want to know, okay, they're going here, they're doing this.
Life is like a box of random tables. You never know what you're going to get. Little Forrest Gump action. That, there you go.
We're going back 30 years for the Forrest Gump RPG.
Dude, this is the deep cuts here tonight. We have the adventure summary that kicks place. It says The Heart of Glass is a dark adventure that pits the party against thieves, assassins, and other denizens of the night. It takes place in the back alleys and abandoned neighborhoods of the sea towns of Ilsa. There, amidst the twisted, jumbled streets of the 3 cities, one can buy anything or anybody for a price. The party must penetrate this reclusive world and unravel its mysteries in order to upset the plans of Malcolm of Helliwell and retrieve the magical artifact which he so ardently desires. So Malcolm of Helliwell is a vampire who has come to the city of Caperna. Is it Capernia? Capernia. I'm on, just it's right underneath what we were reading for using the modules adventure. It's the adventure summary in the lower right-hand corner.
I'm just trying to get this thing to scroll down. It's scrolling, but it's scrolling a little too much. Let's see here.
One of the 3 cities and established his family. A one-time paladin of the Holy Defenders of the Flame. Freaking amazing name. Malcolm fell victim to Sagramor, the father of all vampires, and the machinations of the gods during the Winter Dark Wars. Oh, it's just so cool. He has spent the last 60 years feeding upon the living. The rituals of his kind are abhorrent to Malcolm, but he cannot stop himself, for his hunger is too great. Above all things, Malcolm desires redemption for his long life and his heinous deeds. Death eludes him, however, for he was turned while in the service of another, and his soul never found damnation, but rather his soul lingers in the body still. Oh, this has made him an unnaturally powerful vampire, for these creatures walk the world soulless. In order to achieve his desires and release his soul to the judgment of his gods, Malcolm knows that he must cure himself of the ever-nagging hunger for blood and flesh. And then, here comes his researches. His researches uncovered a magic item, the Heart of Glass, which grants its wielder freedom from all of life's needs, even earthly desires. Malcolm's sole purpose became to locate the magic item so he could use its power for his own designs. Eventually, he tracked the item down to the sea towns of Elsa, where a sorceress, Blonde, lived in possession of the item. Malcolm immediately traveled to the region and set himself up as a landed aristocrat. He brought his household with him. The vampire clan soon established himself in the town of Nochi. Almost immediately, trouble began as people began to disappear, and people began seeing strange beasts, wolves, and the like in the towns. Malcolm realized that he must provide some kind of cover for the activities of his clan. In order to do this, he's established a thieves' guild, the Nachtkriegten, roughly the Night Thieves, to provide his folk cover and aid him in searching the towns for the fabled item. Unbeknownst to the vampire, the 3 cities are traditionally open hunting grounds for burglars, thieves, and the like. There, all thieves are freelancers, and the coming of the Nachtkriegten has drawn the whole underground community very close to war. A little gang turf war. Oh, man. With war spreading across the underworld of the sea towns, the vampire sent his minions to the Endenvol to steal the magical gem. In order to achieve this, he sent his minions to the tower. They fell upon the sorceress in surprise and drove her from the tower. They retrieved a golden yellow gem from the study, and the vampire Ivar Jovovich bore it back to the university where Malcolm has taken up residence. But the gem was not the actual heart of glass, but rather a plant, a spell of magics of Ebon's blonde's making to fool the foolhardy. Some few saw the vampire stealing through the city streets, carrying the false heart to a soon-to-be angry master. See cover picture. When the failure becomes obvious, many of Malcolm's minions return to the Edenville, keeping the mage from returning while searching for the artifact. It is into this maelstrom that the adventure thrusts players. Holy cow! So, talk about backstory.
Oh yeah.
Like, we are in the thick of it. Like, this is a thing that is happening.
And I do like that you said see cover picture, much like Daddy Warbucks in the early 80s adaptation of Annie when he was reading the radio ads, you know, turn page.
Yes, turn the page. Turn the page. That's funny.
And earlier I had to throw back to this, you know, I may not be a smart man, Johnny,
Yeah.
but I know to pre-read my adventure.
There you go. Exactly. You got...
You know how it was back in 1994. There were not enough Forrest Gump impersonations and jokes, and we have to bring that back 30 years later.
We gotta bring it to the minute. Bubba Gump Shrimp. Are they even still around? I wonder if Bubba Gump Shrimp's even still around. Bubba Gump.
I went to one in Chicago, I think, back in 2006. You know, somehow a buddy of mine and I went to go see Queen and Paul Rogers back then. And then when we got back, people berated us because we had not eaten Chicago-style pizza. It's like, well, my friend was a huge Hollywoodophile, and he saw Bubba Gump Shrimp Company down on Lakeshore Drive, and so somehow we ended up there. So I don't know, but I digress.
They're still there in California. I went to the one in Monterey, California, when I was in high school. They're in a bunch in Florida, in Orlando. Oh, there's one in Orlando. And then
you went to a Bubba Gump Shrimp Company when you were in high school, so
yeah.
So you must only be in your 40s then.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah,
Tennessee. Well, they're still around, so that's good. Cancun. You gotta love.
You're
Bubba
an
Gump
old
Shrimp.
soul at 40 something.
There we go. I'll take it. Well, there goes Bubba Gump Shrimp.
And I'm an older soul.
So
54.
There we go. So, holy cats. So this is a lot of where we're at right now. So a lot of Castle Keeper. So basically that was all was for the Castle Keeper that we just read.
Yes, we made sure to live up to our word to pre-read the adventure and
That's right.
do a little research before we run it.
That's right. That's happening. And then
we're doing all 60 pages here, no matter how long it takes. A complete playthrough.
This is happening live on stream. No, we'll wrap up in like the next 20 minutes. But this player's objective is what's next. So it's all broken down. You can see like the title. And so here, as the Castle Keeper, we're going to read this player's objective. Tyler, are you on the page there? It should be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and let's break down the Heart of Glass, page 3, player's objective, if you don't mind.
The player's objective is threefold. First, they must prevent the vampire from gaining possession of the magical Heart of Glass by entering the Edenville, or in the case the vampire gains it, so they must retrieve it and return it to the wizard Eblond. Secondly, they must upset Malcolm's attempts at establishing a thieves guild and returning the knight to the free traders. To do this, they must overcome the vampire's fledgling thieves guild, the Nox Cricken, and in the process avoid being assassinated by the Cerna Rook, I guess, or arousing the dreaded wizard priest of Umbra. And above all, they should offer Malcolm some hope of redemption, either through the magical heart or through some other recourse of their own design. And then setting and placement of Heart of Glass. As with all Trollzah Games adventures, the Heart of Glass adventure setting occurs in the world of Erd. It's designed, however, allows to fit into any campaign. Why would you want to, though? Conversion to other worlds is relatively easy. Place the towns, a coastal region with a large population. The city districts are generic enough that language and names can be redundant in your own setting. Use any evil assassin guild to replace the discern a Rook Assassin Guild and do the same with the other guilds, such as the Paths of Umbra. It is not necessary to ascribe any further meaning of the motivations of these guilds than the acquisition of power and magic. If the adventure calls for the Winter Dark or the Horned God, substitute any generic empire, kingdom, king, or emperor. If you're using the world of Erd, the adventure takes place in the Confederation of Toric in the province of Ilsa, where the shadows of the rule of the Horned God Unclar remain. The altogether cruel Prince Innocent III rules the kingdoms. These lands harbor headquarters of the Wizard Guild, the Paths of Umbra. Everyone, including the prince as bodyguards, use the Lobane Orcs to the east of Ilsa in the Ruland, and where men strive to throw off the prince's yoke and join with the empire of New Enoch in the east. To this end, they arm themselves and rebel whenever a chance presents itself.
Wow.
The twisted, narrow streets of the coastal towns on the Bay of Massol are dangerous warrens of pirates, thieves, and assassins, which the players must learn before they can overcome the evil which has taken up residence there. As with much of the world of Erd, the fall of the Horned God has reawakened all manner of eldritch power and magic, with which all factions vie to control. Such item is the Heart of Glass, and for more information, you can acquire a copy of Afterwinter Dark campaign setting, or I assume what would be the Codex of Erd at this point.
Codex of Erd, yep. So holy cow, so that is the player's objective. Thoughts on how you would approach this, Tyler? How do you set your players up for success to communicate this stuff? I mean, obviously you don't lay it all out. You don't put all your cards on the table. But, like, what are you doing in the background to set this stuff up? Or what are you thinking as you are prepping or as you're running to ensure that these threads are available to your players?
Yeah, like we said earlier, definitely this is one of those for sure with a lot of pre-reading for sure. You don't just wing Heart of Glass. There's a lot here. Of course, you don't want to railroad your players. You've got a city to explore. That's always challenging to some extent. You may have various NPCs. There'll be a lot to keep track of here. And then, obviously trying to highlight a few areas. Sometimes I'll even print some of these adventures out, if you're not wanting to mark up your own copies, and certainly highlight a lot of areas and think, okay, this is something key that they're going to need to find or to encounter or to do or whatever. And it's definitely one you've got to mind your P's and Q's here with Heart of Glass to be certain.
Yeah, because I think especially a lot of folks love Castles and Crusades and tabletop role-playing games for the political intrigue. The fact is that you can actually influence a rebellion in this is pretty cool. I mean, it's what we see in Star Wars, New Hope, and just being able to be like, oh my gosh, through the siege engine and through the storytelling, this collaborative storytelling, like you can actually do that. Like we're going to overthrow Prince Innocent III, and we are going to join the Empire of New Enoch. Like, that's something that your players can absolutely, do. They could probably even say, I mean, depending on what's going on, if your players came to you and you're like, I don't even care about the Heart of Glass, I just want to throw this off. I mean, okay, let's educate. Let's make it happen. Let's do it.
Yeah, certainly. I'm kind of curious to see even beyond, they go into the player's objective, the background here, obviously. There's a wealth of information here. And then there's information about the sea town itself, in the pages to come, as far as the total population and the different racial, groups there and the populations within those groups. Yeah, it's and I love the old black and white artwork as well,
Yeah. Yeah, on the bottom here, this kind of Gangs of New York vibe is what I'm getting a little bit out of the...
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with trying to bring in some of those elements from other pieces of pop culture or other games or adventures or any number of elements you could bring into the adventure itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So kicking off this background here. So I think we're going to stream for just a little bit longer here. A lot of technical stuff tonight, everybody. Thanks so much for dealing with us as we're getting our initial cast up and running. If this is good enough, we might even get this on the Troll Lord Games thing. Don't know, maybe we'll see. But otherwise, I plan on doing this kind of stuff. Hopefully teaming up with Tyler here as we move forward. And but yeah, let's see. Would love to hear what you want to see and engage with and do whatever here. So there's a lot of background here. A lot of background. But this is interesting. So the thieves, dude, I gotta say, just Winter Dark, anyone who hasn't done Aired, like one of the coolest settings of all time. And just Winter Dark and what's happened. I think no one can paint a better picture of Aired and Winter Dark than Grace from Troll Lord Games. She's been doing the lore around Aired for, I feel like, months, if not years. She reads the history and the lore around it in really cozy let's chat streams. This is not one of those. But we're gonna muddle. She gets her tea and it's just all cozy, and we're like, what?
Yeah,
the Dark Lord. So we'll crack on here with the background where thieves rule the night. For many years,
of course, you can catch Grace Monday nights on the Troll Lord Twitch.
There you go. There you go.
Monday nights on the WB.
On the WB.
On the TLG. Yeah.
That's right. The TLG,
Not
WB.
the WB. That's 20 years ago. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that does take me back.
The TLG. That's right.
There
TLG.
it is. There it is. So for many years, the sea towns of Elsa, Ravine, and Noki, and I want to say Caperna. Is it Caperna? Well, how do you say that, Tyler?
Let me get back. Let me see. I've just switched pages.
Is it Caperna? Like Copernicus. I want to say like Copernicus. So Elsa.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Caperna. I'm going to say Caperna. Enjoy a measure of independence. Under the long years of the Winter Dark, they served as the greatest ports of the Horned God's vast empire. Here all manner of things were bought and sold. Ships stood in the harbor so thickly that their masts were akin to a deep forest. The wizard priests of Umbra trained in the cities. The lords grew fat on the commerce of empire, and the Cerna Ruk, the dreaded assassins of the emperors, owned the night. The Winter Dark Wars put an end to prosperity. The war came first from the north upon the ships of the Northmen. They ravaged and plundered the lands of the empire. The Northmen raided the coasts. They raided the coat room. There was a bunch of furs there. They raided the coasts and the shipping lanes, sinking or destroying all in their path. The merchants' fleets were at first helpless, unused to war or the depredations of others, when they fell as easy prey to the raiding northerners. When the great fleets of the empire did muster and give battle, the Northmen annihilated them at the Battle of Grokstead Deeps. So, Tyler, we are getting into deep cuts here. I mean, so we're in the second paragraph of this backstory, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna use that. What is this doing for me as a castle keeper?
Well, it certainly give you a wealth of information to work with, and then as your players kind of go through the adventure itself, that'll kind of determine just when you think, hey, this sounds cool, maybe we can pursue this thing, this particular angle. They'll naturally throw you a curveball, and you'll be in something else or something completely off the script. So it's best to reference these things certainly, and then maybe focus on a few things you might have interest in pursuing. And like I said, an absolute wealth of information here, but you just kind of have to see where the players take it. You can perhaps give them a gentle nudge, but that doesn't always work.
Well, it does turn out all I got to do is read, because in the next paragraph, you're always like, why do I care about this? Well, because the commerce flowing into the sea towns dried up, and the merchants quit their shops and traveled to the great fortress city of Offstrag in hopes that their dread lord could offer them restitution. They found nothing but the toils of war. The dwarven slaves rebelled, and the kingdoms of men threw off the yoke of Offstrag, led, as often as not, by the paladins of the holy defenders of the flame. The war ravaged the lands for 40 years. In bits and pieces the empire disintegrated, and in the end the Horn God was cast from the plain. So then the sea towns fell into ruin. Many of those who just a generation previous ruled the sea lanes of the world were destitute. The great orc nation of the Lowbane, which thank you for saying it. I never understood. The H was silent. I didn't know that. So we'll just scribble out the H. The Lowbane.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because Lowbane is pretty badass of a name. Lowbane, like low-born, but then Bane and low, like that's cool. And the H is just kind of neat. That way,
you could kind of throw in a little bit of the H, much like Stewie on Family Guy with Wheaton. You know,
Lowbane.
I don't know.
Lowbane. To the raided the town, sacked them, and carried off what remained. Civil war spread across the provinces to the east and west. Into this chaos came a prince of Offstrag, a beautiful man of wondrous magical abilities, and he soon threw his yoke over the whole lands of the Ruland, the Lowbane, the Undilad, and the Ilsa. He called himself Innocent and founded the Confederation of Torich. Oh, that's interesting. What a great name for a bad guy. Like, I'm going to name myself Innocent, and then you'll never know if I'm good or bad.
Yeah.
So at last, after many long years of war, the sea towns came to know a measure of peace. Though they did not know it, their days of ruling the seas passed into the annals of history. The prince rebuilt the ports and fleets as best he could. His money did much in attracting all manner of displaced people. Wizards of the paths of Umbra, mercenaries, thieves, pirates, and other malcontents, unused to the rule of good, came to the Principate, and many of these found themselves passing through the sea towns. Wealth poured into the region once more, but this time the wealth was far less legitimate. Gone were the orderly days of Unklar's rule. Now men made their fortunes off looting and pirating. The sea towns became the repository of stolen booty. Stolen booty. The towns grew, sprawling along the coast.
I can hear the snickering.
There you go, little booty, little stolen booty, just to get a little one of just a little pinch, little stolen one. The towns grew, sprawling along the coastal region until their street and alleys intermingles, and none could say where one left off and the other began. Dude, what a great writing! Oh man, that's a really great. I love that. The towns.
Who wrote this?
Yeah, it was good, man. The towns grew, sprawling along the coastal region until their street and alleys intermingled, and none could say where one left off and the other began. I freaking love that. All tried to hug the coast, however, for there, in the guise of pirates, the true wealth could be found. The streets were narrowed, the markets kept small if plentiful, and alleys twisted and wound their ways between hosts of rickety buildings. As for the buildings, they generally stood 3 stories high, but some were as tall as 6. Alleys sprang up upon the rooftops, and the buildings crushed together in the tight confines of the coastal plain. The whole landscape became a dark and twisted forest of tunneled streets, alleys, homes, arches, shops, and markets. Tyler, I don't know about you, this paragraph is all I need for a good time. Like, this is freaking
absolutely
gold. Like, you could run a dozen adventures in that one paragraph.
Oh, yeah, and we haven't even gotten to the specific locales within the sea town of Ilsa and the NPCs and all of that.
Yeah, that is freaking... This is just a juicy pear. I just love it. It's a partridge in a pear tree. And we'll finish...
fitting for the holiday.
That's right. So in 1097 MD, the Empress of New Enoch traveled to the west and called for a crusade of all good folk to come to her lands and liberate them from the remaining evil of Offstrag. A tremendous response met her appeals, and many thousands of young men boarded ships and sailed to the east. The sea lanes passed just south of the Bay of Massel, and the folk of the sea towns watched the crusader ships passing by almost daily. Castles and crusades! Crusades! The enterprise became an irresistible target for the pirates, and their raids brought misfortune to many, but a great wealth in goods, armor, and monies to the sea towns. Boo! Boo, pirates! The prince always indulged the sea towns far more than his other provinces, where he enforced a strict set of laws. Innocent saw the towns as a gateway to the world at large, and as a recruiting ground of soldiers of any descriptions, for soldiers of any description. So he let it be, and even at times encouraged its independent growth. The independence accorded...
Silent.
Yeah, that's right. The independence accorded the three towns spread to the people who occupied them. No governess generals came to rule the towns, rather an oligarchy of merchants and ship captains, aka pirates, and other wealthy or powerful wizards, mercenaries or clerics met to plot and plan any major developments in the cities or regions. The thieves followed a similar pattern. Early attempts to found guild houses in the sea towns met with abject and often violent failure. For many years after the wars, the thieves of the three towns operated independently of each other. They did this for the obvious reason that little or no wealth existed in the area, a condition which kept any powerful guilds or thieves from coming to the town and marking their territory. Though wealth and prosperity did come to the sea towns, and when it did, it soon attracted a host of would-be guild houses. The men and women who first stalked the streets in search of wealth had long grown accustomed to their freedom and resisted the idea of a controlling conglomerate or family. They fought the attempts by the guild houses to gain control of the area by themselves, banding together and fighting off the interlopers. They were able to do this largely because of two people, Michael Bagleton and is it E-Blonde? E-Blonde? E-Blonde. The latter of the two, a beautiful enchantress, possessed the heart of glass in her tower of Envol, and Michael protected her at every turn. Ta-da! So thoughts, Tyler, on this? So this is another juicy nugget of background for the players of what's going on here in the town cities, the port cities.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, and I noticed earlier too. I told you about Steven's predilection for the all things German. You noticed the Nacht,
Yeah.
And yeah, which he's. I think there are places in air that I'm surprised he hasn't just. Has he used actual German town names?
I don't know. In Insane they may have. Like, we're doing one now. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, there might be. It'd be funny.
Yeah,
So
I'm noticing here. Oh, it looks like we have a gnome upcoming here. One of these NPCs. I'm surprised he used a gnome. I thought Steven and Davis were anti-gnome.
They do not like the gnomes. Oh, Gotar Hujaleaf. Or Jorleaf. Gotar Jorleaf. A gnome thief who takes up residence in the Iron Tap. So, yeah, looks like...
Oh, I can see upcoming he gets into... so they've got the organization and preparation where they kind of help, to get all of this sorted out because there is a tremendous amount of material here. And then even there's a section on the world of air. Wow.
There's a lot here.
Yeah, this is even before you get into the meat of the adventure itself.
We haven't even been like, roll for... make a wisdom check.
I do see some of the dreaded... flavor text, with the upcoming in a couple of pages. So that's always fun for the players to sit through.
So Tyler, when I have this kind of historical context, I like to write it out on like a note card and give it to the player, like because of the fact that I think it's weird to be like, this is what you know, and I tell you what you know instead of I feel like if you're the one to say it and share it with other players. I feel like it, and then you kind of own that knowledge. Like I give that to you, and that's yours to like share or not share or do whatever. I mean, what are your thoughts? How do you incorporate knowledge? Do you just kind of tell them your character would know this, or what do you like to do when it comes to background, especially when it comes to lore in pre-existing worlds?
Yeah, I think just telling them sometimes is kind of the go-to method. But like you said, the note card, that's kind of a good idea. I guess sometimes the note cards are handy, certainly if there's things that, you've got one player that they want the GM to know, or the CK rather to know.
There you go.
And not the other players. So I kind of like that with some of this information. It gets the player a little more involved. They can kind of play that out with the other people at the table as well.
Yeah, it'd be tricky. I mean, that's the more prep version, right? Like you wouldn't be writing note card stuff at the table to be like, here you go, hand it out. I mean, this is like something that you've prepped beforehand. I honestly do think that in the world of AI too, you could actually like give the PDF to the AI agent and be like, hey, help generate some knowledge bombs that I can print off for my players. I think game prep and AI is like, that's probably the best use case I've seen for it. Are you dabbling in AI at all?
I haven't. I've watched the odd video here and there. I think that some of the stuff I've seen is just, and some of this is probably AI or maybe also put together by various YouTubers and whatnot. Here's a Kiss album if it were put out in the 1950s.
Oh yeah,
or something.
yeah.
There have been a few things.
I've seen some of that stuff.
Or
yeah, like
Queen's The Game album if it had been released in the 1950s. So I've caught a few things like that, but I haven't done a tremendous amount with AI, short of some AI search results that come up now in Google or whatever. But I really haven't dabbled. We might as well get something good out of it, if not all it's going to be good. But that's another matter.
Yeah, there you go. There's a whole other podcast wrapped up in there for sure.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's a great tool for this kind of stuff, at least for game prep. Because we were just talking about like, I don't got time. I don't got like Predator. I don't got time to bleed. Well, you got time to duck. So there's my Predator reference for the night. As we wrap up this stream. So Tyler, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It took us a little bit to kind of hit our mojo. Getting everything downloaded, but I'm glad fate had to roll today because I have had Heart of Glass in my docket to read for probably 2 years now, and sounds like you did too.
Yeah, I have actually looked through it before, but I actually haven't ran the adventure.
Yeah.
That's one there's always some on the back burner, and I think at one point my plan, and I still may do this, is I was hoping, and I have taken groups through. Oh, I think I started out with there was an adventure. Speaking of one of those out of print adventures, Dark Journey was one that was out in the 2000s at one point. A 3-level dungeon of sorts, just kind of your traditional fare with traps, riddles, and the usual creatures and that sort of thing. And I think we started with that, and then my hope was to maybe move into something like Shadows of Halfling Hall, and then into some of the S series, some of those that I mentioned earlier, like Lure of Delusion, and into Dwarven Glory, which is not too far from where Lure of Delusion is. I think there was even a $1 PDF back in the day you can find on Drive-Thru called Wizard's Tower that may still have the same wizard character that may have just been a lesser NPC in Lure of Delusion, and to kind of run those. And then there's something kind of unusual in the Dwarven Glory that can potentially lead you into the Darkenfold Forest, actually. Oh, wow. And then to run the C series. And I had a whole little thing that I was trying to do with that. So I've tried to get that off the ground a time or two and have ran part of that. And then the A series sometimes has been a go-to for me. But yeah, something like this Sea Town of Ilsa. And I'd have to, look at the maps and see specifically where this is at. I'm not recalling it offhand.
Sure.
Exactly, but yeah, there's a lot here. This would really be, something, and it's something you're not just going to do in a night. Obviously, this could go for a while, and then of course, depending upon where the players go, and how far you delve into the city of Ilsa, yeah, this could go for some time.
Yeah, I mean, I saw probably 2 or 3 session zeros already in just what we read. Like that you could actually run just
Sure.
a little, what's it, to just play around in the city. So yeah, very cool stuff. So Tyler, final thoughts from you here tonight.
Final thoughts? Well, first of all, we should definitely do this again. We could probably do multiple installments on the Heart of Glass to be certain. And yeah, this is definitely one that, if you think you're just going to sit down and just jump right into it, maybe think again. You want to do a lot of planning for this one, but there's a lot of meat here. I'm just trying to scroll through and see, everything else we've got. Some of the locations here. You get into a city, you've got a little more to think about. But yeah, I'm seeing all sorts of various NPCs and encounters here. Not something quite as big as, let's say, Castle or Zagig or the Yigsburg or whatever. But
Yep.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot here. And boy, the art, I love seeing this old art from back in the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
The black and white work here. Yeah, I'm just looking all throughout this, and boy, just get on and on. What page? I'm on page 33, and there's all sorts of locations here.
Oh yeah, it's fun stuff.
Nice tower here.
Oh my god.
Places that we referred to earlier as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun. So yeah, cool stuff. Well, awesome, man. Well, thanks for hanging out with me for this proof of concept for what it might be like for a podcast here for Castle and Crusades, and pretty fun stuff. So
It can only go up.
that's a fact. That is a fact. Any podcast that we don't try to download a PDF for an hour. I think we are A-okay. That was me included. So I'm like, I don't have my Monsters and Treasure. I don't know where this is. I had to find it on another freaking. They got 3 stores, but I eventually found it. So huzzah.
Yeah, because I have not, like we were talking about the PHB, I have not looked at any of the PDFs as far as some of the changes they made and all of that.
Yep.
And I'm gonna have to dig around probably in some old emails or either on drive-through and see what I can find, because I'm looking forward to seeing those books and seeing what the changes were. And I guess the most significantly changed to some extent as far as the format, I think, is going to be the Monster and Treasure, I believe.
Yeah, that's a huge change. And it's one worth talking about next time here on Castles and Crusades podcast. All right. Tyler, thanks for being here tonight, bud.
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
Trollzah.
Trollzah.